Hello. This video is intended for everybody, but will probably be understood by very few. This is either because what I'm saying is complete nonsense, or the absolute truth, or my own version of truth, or somewhere in between any variety of a number of possibilities. So, where shall we begin? Things are strange, and they're getting stranger, and as much as I try to figure it out, it flickers, and it changes, and it isn't what it was, but somehow it will be. Yeah. Where to begin? I have a headache, my body aches. Sometimes I feel like I'm dying, but not really. Not like in a panicky way, like, oh, I gotta do something. It's more like, oh yeah, I'm probably dying now, but then, no, I'm not. And I know that I'm not. But somehow it's like, how could I not be? You know? Given the way I feel, the way every single thing is changing. Next wave of human evolution. It's a good time to be alive. A little painful. About to get a lot more painful from what I understand. But it's okay. It's going to be okay. Drink plenty of water. Have magnesium. Eat good food. Plenty of sleep. Quit your job if you have to. It's going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. Yeah. It is my intention to speak from my personal truth. Perhaps it will resonate with you. Perhaps it won't. Maybe next week will be different. Yeah. Well, it'll certainly be different. But I used to say that with great confidence. Because, like many of you out there, I just knew. You know how you just know? Like you know what happened, you know what is happening, and so you know what will. Easy. Nothing to it. Yeah. It's as easy as breathing. With a little practice. Some of us don't even need to practice. And everyone does it. It's been proven, they did a study, everyone sees 8 seconds into the future. Well, some people see a lot further than 8 seconds. Anyway, the point is, I know you've noticed, those who know what I'm talking about, that the future doesn't look like the future it does anymore. And what I mean by that is, you know how things changed in 1998? How it was going to be a thing and then it wasn't? And all for the greater good and for the betterment of all and party like it's 1999, That isn't exactly what I'm talking about. But maybe it is. And I know it's connected somehow. Yeah, keeping a straight train of thought is a challenge, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it this time. 47 takes. This is the one. So, yeah, okay. It's there somewhere. Here we go. So last night was pretty horrible, but also pretty wonderful. Learned a lot of things about myself, about the world, and yeah, so here goes. It appears that time isn't how we thought it was. It isn't just that you can make a decision and all group decisions change the course of things, although that is what it is. It's subtler than that. It's like what happened before didn't necessarily happen before. And I know that sounds strange. It sounded very strange to me because I always kind of assumed it did. But the reason I assumed it did is because everyone told me it did. Maybe I kind of knew that something was different, that that wasn't really how it was, that the past isn't necessarily past, but then obviously you can't like go back and do things differently, and you wouldn't want to even if you could. I'm certain of that. But what was I saying? I think that's why it is so hard for us to concentrate. That and because our brains are just being rewired from the atomic level onward. It seems like I've digressed. Let me find my center. What was I going to say? It's there somewhere. I'll find it. I'll find it. Maybe if I rub my head, that might help. Okay, so I feel very fortunate to be alive at this time, to be going through these changes, and some of them have been pretty interesting. Definitely see things a lot clearer. My sense of self, although it seems to be fluctuating, always seems to be escalating. You know what I mean? Like, I used to know who I was, or at least I thought I did. But now it's like every day, sometimes every hour, I'm different now. And I mean, like, emotionally, inside. Because I know our bodies are doing things, but like who I am is escalating. Always a little higher, always a little more, always a little sharper, a little clearer, except for the scattering of thought, which I think has a lot to do with the scattering of time. But I think that's all I'm going to say on that. Or is it? It'll be nice when I can think clearly again. I am a rather intelligent person. I like to think so. Can usually express myself pretty well. Got away with words. But lately, it's okay though. All for the greater good. So what was I going to say? I said everything's going to be okay. See, I tried writing it down, kind of. Not really. I didn't actually write it down, but I was going to write it down, but then I didn't because I knew that's not going to help, That's what I was going to say. Preparations. Many people are talking about some scary things that are about to happen and how we need to prepare. And we do need to prepare, but not in the way they're talking about, not in the traditional sense. And I think you know what I mean. Like, no matter where you go, that's not going to be enough. No matter how much food you have, that's not really going to do it. You can build a bunker and hide underground, but that's not really going to do it. Because it's different than that. Yeah, it's different. It's more of an inner preparation. It's the letting go. It's the letting the change happen. That's the way we'll make it through. And many of us will make it through. But many of us won't. But that's not something to be afraid of, and I don't say it to be scary. It's just... But then how do I know? Because the future isn't there anymore. I look and I go, what's going to happen? And it's like, could be this, could be that. Could be anything. When has that ever been the case? I mean, a lot of people, they go around in their life and, I've talked to them about it and I'm confused that they don't see the world the way I see the world. It's like, it's so obvious. But to many, it's like, well, how can you know the future? It hasn't happened yet. And I say, well, that's a ridiculous question. But now it doesn't seem so ridiculous because it really hasn't happened yet. That's exciting. And there are some of you who know what I mean. Some of you. And for those who don't, you'll see, maybe, maybe not. I don't mean that in a scary way, like death, maybe not. I mean like to see. Will you see? Maybe. We are all changing after all. And mostly for the better. Yeah, just the other day, a guy walked up to me and he didn't ask me for change like they usually do. He asked me if I needed any work done. Yeah. He didn't ask if I knew where there were any jobs. It wasn't anything like that. It was very calm. It was very collected. It was very focused in a way, but also different. Words don't seem to mean what they used to mean. You know what I mean? But yeah, he came up and he said, do I need any work done? And I heard him right the first time, and what he sent from his mind was the same, but I had to ask him, what? Because I never heard that before. I mean, I've heard people say, like, I'll work for food or whatever, and, yeah. I don't mean to downplay that, because I know what that's like. But this was different. It was, is there anything I can do for you? And I've not heard that before, because he meant it. And I said that unfortunately I don't have any leaves to rake, and I don't have, the stuff to do, but I wished him well. Onward he went. And it felt different. There was something different about that interaction. There's something different about most interactions these days. It's like people are more themselves than they've ever been before. And it's a lot easier to walk around in public, isn't it? And some of you know what I mean. How it used to be, you always had to defend yourself. Always. And if you didn't, man, how horrible is that? But now, and try it if you don't believe me, walk through the grocery store and just let the shield go and see what happens. Yeah, I'm glad you did. It's different. People don't seem so mean anymore. And I know that the media, major media anyway, is trying to say that horrible things this, horrible things that, but that's what they do. They just what they say. But if you really look at the people, the individual people, and I believe this is a worldwide phenomenon, they're a lot gentler, a lot kinder, a lot less animosity. I mean, some people, they're freaking out right now because, well, how to say this? It's been a challenge for me at times, many times, to relate to people and understand people. I have a way with words, I pay attention, I can feel what others are feeling, that helps a lot. But how I interpret a feeling is different than how others interpret a feeling. So even though I know what they're feeling, and often I know what they're thinking, if I were feeling that and thinking that, anyway, it's different. Way different. Oh, hold on a second. That hurt a little. So many changes. All for the greater good, though. I'm very thankful to be here. And every time the pains happen, it really helps to let go. You'll find that every time you do, it's another step up, and then another step up, every single time. That's what I was saying. Some people are resisting that, though. And that manifests in a variety of ways. Sometimes people may seem to be more angry, but I don't think that's it. I think it's that they've practiced anger effectively for so long, now anger's not working, so they're trying more of it. Does that make sense? It's not that they're actually more angry. Yeah, it's kind of like us all, right? We have our practice, we have the way we do things, and all of a sudden the rules have changed. And for the better, because those old rules, they didn't really work. A lot of people going without when they didn't have to go without. A lot of people hurting when they didn't have to hurt. A lot of people not being born when they should have been born. Or dying when they should have lived. Way too much control. And what I mean by that is people controlling other people. Very little self-control, but a lot of controlling others. I feel like I'm getting off track though, because that's the old way. It's falling away. It's no longer so important to push against that. Maybe we never should have pushed against it. But here we are. And it's falling away. And it's falling away rapidly. Yeah. It's very interesting. Have you heard about the Pleiadians? You should definitely check it out. I was going to make a different kind of video, and I still going to make a different kind of video, but all I'm going to say about that is check your heart, feel for the truth, and you might be surprised. Because I've always known that there are, ETs. There must be, right? How could there not be? See all these UFOs, people say they saw them. How many people are going to be lying? I mean, honestly, how many people are going to lie about that? Especially when it derails their entire life, and everyone hates them and ridicules them. Anyway, I digress. always knew it was probably the thing, but it was like, yeah, okay, whatever. If there are, there are. Maybe I'll meet one day. Wouldn't that be fun? On with life. But now it's shifted. It's like, it's all of a sudden really important to acknowledge and be aware that not only have they been coming here, and you might see one occasionally, I don't know, UFO, might meet an alien, okay, whatever. It's like now they're here. Like, all of them. Obviously not all of them, because there's a lot of them. But there's a lot of them. Yeah. Feel it. Feel if it's true or not. Because it might not be. I don't know. I don't know, because if I look forward and I say, what happens? They're there, they're not there. Then they're there, and they're not there. But they're there, but they're there later. But then they're sooner, but they're later. And then they're not, but they are. But they always were, and somehow I know they always were. Yeah, so that's interesting. There's a channel called Light Guru, all one word, Light Guru, G-U-R-O, or G-U-R-U. Letters seem to dance around too, but check it out, it's really cool. Channelings straight from the source, rather the source of the Pleiadians, possibly channeling source itself, who's to say. Interesting stuff though, very rapid, and I certainly felt a shift. You listen to things like that, and there's something about 001, 0110 that I don't know what it means, but it means something. I guess we'll see. Or maybe we won't, I don't know. I used to know. It's one thing I do know. It's gonna be okay. It really is. It's gonna be okay. A couple things I've noticed. Wonder if anyone else has noticed. How to say it though. I've never really tried to describe it, but this might make sense to some of you. You know how there's that background noise, and there always is, whether you're awake or asleep, anywhere you go, anything you're doing, there's always this constant. I never really gave it too much thought, because I always kind of knew what it was, but it was always there, so you kind of filter it out. But it's now apparent that most likely what this is, and I believe this is likely what it is, everyone on Earth is thinking their thoughts, and those thoughts go outward into the world. Other thoughts bounce into them and affect them. Their thoughts bounce into other thoughts, which then morph and become different thoughts, and then new thoughts, thoughts. The other day I noticed something changed. Maybe you noticed it too. I believe it was Wednesday of this week. Would have been whatever date that was, because days don't seem to mean what they used to mean. Yeah. But anyway, it got quieter. Did you notice it? It's like a lot of people just weren't there anymore. Yeah. It's like they were gone. It's not like they died, because people die every day. In fact, thousands of people die every day. And never really changes the background noise. It's always just kind of going. But something did. Where did they go? Where or when? Is that even a valid question? When or where? I don't know. But they went somewhere. Seems like there was something else I wanted to say. Yes, that's it. Let's see if I can say it this time. Let's see if I can express it. This seems to be important. So, I became aware last night that a little while ago, and I don't know when this happened, because like I say, when doesn't seem to mean what it used to mean. How do I say this? You don't have to be afraid anymore. That's what it is. You know that thing you were afraid of all the time? Even when you weren't afraid, you were always kind of afraid of it because it was so scary. You know what I mean? Maybe? I don't think I said it right. I don't want to get real specific because fear isn't necessary anymore. But it was real. And it wasn't just you, it was everybody. Even those who didn't know, it was them too. It was every child, and they knew, and they tried to tell, but people didn't listen. And the reason they didn't listen was because it was so scary, and they just couldn't. Because if they'd listened, how can you live your life? I've often wondered that, how to live my life. Because I did hear, not just what they said, I heard it every day, every single day, and every night. Never ending. Never get away from it. You can defend yourself as much as you want. Sometimes, if you generate a high enough vibration, it's like it goes away, but you know as soon as you're not looking. Anyway, it's gone now. Poof. I don't know where it went, but it's gone. So, yeah, there's that. There's still some reverberations, though. It's bouncing around, and so, yeah, it's here and there, but every time it's there, it's a little diminished, and a little diminished, and a little diminished, as the vibration goes up, and up, and up. And, yeah. So it's a good thing. We don't have to be afraid anymore. It's not to say there's nothing to be afraid of, except I believe there's nothing to be afraid of. But, you know, I mean, if a scary thing happens, then okay. But at least we don't have to be afraid of that anymore. So, yeah, that's something to celebrate. Yeah, feels good, you know. Oh, that hurts. I don't mean to complain because it doesn't hurt too bad. It's like it hurts just as much as it can hurt without hurting too much, you know? Like it's hurting just the right amount without any more than it needs to. But every once in a while, there's a wave of something a little more intense. And every time a little higher. Every time a little clearer. And then it passes. It's okay. I think that's what I needed to say. I know it's been kind of rambly. Might not be that entertaining. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Hopefully it helps. But if nothing else, it's another data point. So put them all together. Pay attention. Listen with your heart. And some advice for any who are new to this. If someone says something and you feel an ache or a drop, they're lying, without exception. No exceptions. And you always know. And if someone's telling the truth, it'll feel lighter on the degree of how much truth there is. Sometimes there's so much truth that goes straight through you. Other times there's just enough truth to go up, just a little. If it stays neutral, maybe it's not so important to know, but you will feel, and it's very important you know, that everyone feels it. Everyone knows. Lying's not allowed anymore. I mean, you can go ahead and do it. You're still free. In fact, you're freer than you've ever been. So go ahead and lie if you want to, but everyone's going to know now. And that's a good thing. So, things are getting better. Better every day. Stay positive. Be light. Be friendly. If you ever have a chance to help someone, help them. It's always been a good thing to do. That part hasn't changed. And maybe I'll make another video. We'll see. It's been fun. And it's been other things than fun too. Did you feel it there? That was an example. It's been fun. Dropped a little bit. Just a little. Because it has been fun. But it's also hurt quite a bit. And I'm kind of nervous. I think that was a good one. 47 takes. I think I got it. Later.